Right, hello everyone. I've brought back the lovely Danielle today, my lovely friend, and we're going to talk about all manner of things, but mainly ADHD.
Yeah.
So she's back.
When you just press record there, my whole body went, I froze.
You'll be fine.
Yes, I've been doing an A to Z of ADHD, which was just a little interesting because there's so much that comes with ADHD that not everybody knows about. So I started listing some things, and then this is just how my brain works. Then we're going to put it in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
And then we'll write a little description. Because I previously had an A to Z. Sounds better, A to Z.
A to Z of ADHD. It's got a bit more of a ring to it, even though it's a bit Americanised. Yeah.
I did one of send words to help people with EHCPs and things like that, and I might have spoken about this last time, but it's used by lots of different councils around the UK. So there is like a resource on websites and printouts that they'll give to parents and stuff.
That's so good.
Because it's like every word imaginable. And then a breakdown of that word, because sometimes you get paperwork and you're like, what does that mean? Or especially if you get given it in a meeting and then you're like, can you sign this or do you agree to this? And you're just looking at it like, oh, if I knew what the words meant,
yes,
maybe.
Yeah.
But so I started doing this, and then today I wanted to do go through it through A to Z. But we've been we've been speaking for a long time,
over an hour. Yeah,
restricted. So we'll just pick out some bits, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. No. I'm saying, right, this is what we're doing today.
We've got a good 45 minutes or so it's fine.
Okay. Right, so we're going to start with A.
Good.
Aphantasia.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
No.
So I have aphantasia, and I didn't figure that out until last year, maybe the year before. So there was a picture on Facebook and it said, how do you picture the apple? So it was number one was like a really shiny detailed apple with a leaf and just loads of details. Number 4 was a little bit less than that. 3 was it was a blurry vision of an apple. 2 would have been hardly anything there, but it was an outline, and then 5 was nothing at all.
Okay.
So it was when you think, if you think of an apple now.
Oh, so is this how you picture things in your brain? Is what you're saying to me.
So if you think of an apple, what do you see? How does it?
It doesn't have. Did you say one had a leaf on it?
Yeah.
No,
that's
so
not. No, it doesn't have to have a leaf, but it's just how much detail can you see when
just
you
like a stalk, and it's green and quite shiny.
And you can see that in your.
Yeah.
See, I can't, and I didn't know that anybody else could.
Yeah.
So I always thought that picture it was an expression, or. I do meditation all the time, and when we're being guided through meditation, see yourself on a beach. I didn't know that everybody else laying there was actually visioning. They could see themselves walking along a beach, and I had a really hard time with that. So I don't think in pictures.
Yeah.
But I feel, so I know if I was to think about an apple, I can feel that an apple. Not physically, but I know I'm thinking of an apple, but I can't see an apple.
Yeah.
But I know an apple's red or green, or I know what one looks like.
Can you think about texture when you think about an apple?
No.
So it's not just about appearance, it's about couldn't think about like senses of what that might taste like. And
no.
So I could do that now.
Can you?
Yeah, like I might picture myself biting into it and how that might feel.
Yeah, I don't have any of that. But it is, you don't have those conversations. You don't grow up having these conversations.
No, of course not, no.
What does your brain do, or how does your brain think?
Yeah, because you just assume everyone's is the same.
Yeah, and I would have always thought that if I didn't see this picture on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I kind of got a bit obsessed with it, so I was asking everybody. I changed it from an apple to a cat. So I'm like, think of a cat. And then I'm like, what's the cat doing? And somebody would be like, oh, it just sat down, or it's a ginger cat. And it was so mind-boggling to me. And also, then it was looking into it, and I thought, okay, there are certain aspects of my life that are quite different to others in the way that I think, that I will go through the grief cycle much quicker than other people, and then I feel guilty about that. Like, well, why have I not moved on, but why is everyone else still processing in a different way to me? But
like stuck in might be stuck in a phase, one of the phases that you're in.
Yeah, it's not. It's also it's quite a common thing for people that have aphantasia, because they can't picture somebody in their mind.
Okay.
You know, I would have to see a picture of somebody to picture that person.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have like the memories and the feelings within you, but you can't think, you know, that's what so-and-so's face looks like, and, you know, you're just kind of processing that differently.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm glad we've had this, because then that's why I asked you about the sensory as well.
Yeah.
Because I could see, when you said about cat, I can imagine like what the fur would feel like now if I was to touch it. Like I feel like I can feel that.
Yeah.
So there's a sensory aspect as well as a visual.
And so my husband, he keeps saying, we went to the range the other day and we was buying things for our daughter's room, and he said, this pillow won't go with that. And I was like, well, it will, because her wallpaper's pink with green on. And he was like, I described it in a completely different way. And he's like, it must be easier for me, because when I'm looking at an object, when I'm looking at an object, I can picture it in the room, because I can picture the actual room, the layout, what it looks like.
Yeah.
He's like, so if you can't do that, it must be a bit more difficult for you to be able to say, you know, this will
What
go
goes
there
with what.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fantasia.
I'm glad. Yeah, I knew what it was, but didn't know the name for it. So that's
Right.
good. Already
Yeah.
educated. Thank you. Let's go to B.
B is body doubling.
I know that one.
Yeah.
I do that one.
Do you love it?
I do that one with my partner, and I do that one with Lucy.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's really well.
especially for ADHD brains.
Yes.
If, you know, somebody could ring me and it's just on loudspeaker, it doesn't have to be in person. I put it on my loudspeaker and I will get everything done.
Yeah.
I'll just put around in the background. You know, I'm doing my housework, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and the time will just fly by.
Yeah.
So but it also works if I was to call somewhere and I was on hold.
Yeah.
The on hold music to me is still a body double.
Mm.
I seem to be able to get lots done just because someone else's some lift music is playing on the phone, elevator music, and then I can get things done.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good like strategy, isn't it?
Yeah, I keep seeing lots of stuff on Facebook about that, about people trying to connect other people up and saying, do you want to do some body doubling, so if you're struggling, and then trying to partner people up, maybe that don't even know each other.
Yeah.
And saying that we can do things together and get work
I love
done.
things like that. It's not the same at all, but you know the I forgot what it's called, where there's an app and you can help people that are blind.
No.
So it'll be a video call, and you'll kind of so they'll need you at that moment. You know, they'll ask you a question and you'll describe the surroundings, or you'll say, move a little bit to your left, it's just over there. I forgot what it's called, so I'll have to find out after and send it to you. Yeah, so it's an app, and you help people who are blind.
That's
through this app.
amazing.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whoever thought of that and manifested that into this app is amazing, and I'm sure it's helped loads of people.
Gosh, yeah, that is amazing.
So C is combined type. So that's the type of ADHD that I have. So mine is inattentive and hyperactive, which just feels like a massive contradiction, really, of things, because they don't work together at all. They're like opposites, and through that I'm also ADHD, so I have ADHD and I'm autistic, and most of the time they feel like they're polar opposites as well. So not everyone knows that when you have ADHD that there are 3 different types.
Yeah.
So you could just be hyperactive, you could just be inattentive and sort of, I guess, away with the fairies a little bit, or not being able to focus. And when you have both,
When there's an overlap and then conflict,
it's chaos.
Yeah. I can imagine.
D is dopamine. Did you have that on
Yeah.
your posters?
Yeah, my poster there arrived today. Should we look at that one?
Yeah.
Excuse the noise. That's not very nice noise for some people. The reward chemical.
Yes, it is. So, which ADHD brains don't regulate dopamine the same way as other brains. So our motivation is driven by interest, urgency, novelty. Also, estrogen, fun fact, helps support dopamine.
Okay.
So women who have ADHD can find it harder during their lead up to their periods and on their periods. So for myself and a lot of people who take ADHD medication, I'm given a higher dose around my menstrual cycle because the medication won't work as good with the
Because
lack of estrogen.
because you're low in estrogen.
Yes.
Does that happen when you're perimenopause or menopausal? Is
Well,
estrogen affected?
Yeah.
Because obviously I know that people with ADHD and autism will struggle more when they're going through that, or they might not know they're ADHD and autistic until they start going through those stages, and it's becoming more apparent.
It's harder
isn't
to
it?
get the dopamine, so you will have like those dopamine seeking behaviours.
Yeah.
In general, so women that are perimenopausal, when they are, because of that, they might display ADHD traits. Might not necessarily have ADHD. You know, if it hasn't been present before these moments, then sometimes it is the estrogen and the dopamine combination, and so you have these kind of dopamine seeking,
That's interesting.
urgency, novelty things.
Interesting. My brain's going.
I can see it in your face. E is emotional dysregulation. That was me this morning. I was. Could you see how dysregulated I was? Yeah.
But I knew that I knew you'd be all right once I made you a drink and we talked about it.
Yeah.
And we sat down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've grounded into the space now, but
Good.
that was just change of times, and not from you, taxis obviously, and because emotional dysregulation is feeling emotions more intense and harder, and so for other people it might be like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it, but it's like if I had complete control over that, I wouldn't choose to feel this emotionally, and also it can be embarrassing, or you know, sometimes I'm like, come on, you're a grown woman, why are you? But it's just, you probably, I'll get told, not now, but when I was younger, you know, you're being too sensitive. So
I know. I know.
like, no, ma'am, that's my nervous system.
And
It just reacts quickly, that's all.
Yeah, and you want to go on, I'm an empath. Like, we know that. We know that now. It's a superpower. But you're obviously not going to say that when you're like 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But once you got your legs up on my sofa, then I know you're comfortable. So I know
I
once your legs
myself
go
right
up,
at him,
I'm like,
didn't
she's fine.
Yeah, look at me, I'm all squished in
Yeah.
now. F, is that where we're at?
Yes.
Functional freeze.
Okay.
That's often linked to executive dysfunction. So starting and finishing small tasks can just feel really, really hard. Interestingly, I couldn't think of one for X. So for X, I've put...
I was wondering when we were going down. I was like, has she
I'm just
filled every
going
letter?
forward. X is executive dysfunction.
Oh, I like that. I thought you were going to say xylophone, because that's what people say for X. Not
Well,
that would
not
even
for an
fit in.
ADHD thing, yeah.
No. X-ray. I can't think of
Yeah.
anything.
I was thinking so hard, and I thought I'll just cheat that one.
Yeah.
G, guilt cycle. So wanting to do something, not doing it, feeling guilty, and then getting stuck in that loop.
Yeah.
Do you ever get that?
No.
And then the shame of it just makes things harder after. But yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. But then again, that's linked to executive dysfunction and all those things. H is hypervigilance.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that?
I know the way you stared at me so intensely.
I know.
then.
I'm like, which one of these do you have?
Can I
on
just
this
say,
list?
everyone, that Danielle's so desperate to just uncover me as ADHD. So everything
You've
she's
been
saying,
uncovered.
she's fixing her eyes on me. Going, do you have this? Do you get that?
It's the same as when you say something to me, and I'm like, wow, you know what that is, don't you?
Right. So say this one, and then I'll tell you truthfully if any of these resonate with me. So say this one.
This is hypervigilance, so just constantly being on alert for what. Well, this is. I've written this in a sense of it's being on alert for what might go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be ADHD, overwhelm, past experiences, like, you know, coming from a background that where you didn't feel unsafe, or it was unpredictable. So I am constantly on high alert. Like, I'm the watchdog. I am. And it's not anxiety, it is just hypervigilance. But I will notice everything, every change. You know, when I came in here and I was like, something's changed.
Yeah. You're like, why can't I walk through this
You
bit?
were like, no, it's not. And I'm like, something's definitely changed here. And
Yeah.
bearing in mind, this is only the second time I've been here.
I'm going to change something subtly next time
Yeah,
to see
and
what you notice.
but now I know I'm going to say something's changed. You'll be like, actually, it hasn't.
Yeah.
Tricked you. But that can be quite exhausting. But also, it's like it's one of those ones that's like a gift as well. I'm really good at reading energy, but I'm also mindful that I acknowledge that comes from a place of trauma, and, you know, having to read the energy to kind of keep yourself safe,
Yeah.
read the mood in the room kind of thing. And then my body just hasn't relaxed yet.
Yeah.
Still thinks we're in that danger. So I'm just constantly on high alert. That's probably why I don't sleep. Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
This is a big one for me. This is, I still haven't to this day listened to the podcast, the other podcast that I did with you.
I thought you had listened to it.
No, I started listening. And I just couldn't.
That's what it is then.
Yeah, I get imposter syndrome. This is a really big one for ADHD. You know, I can exhaust myself with doing everything I can, but I still feel like it's not good enough, or I'm not good enough to be in these spaces, or everyone's more qualified than me, and I have to. Sometimes I might over talk about things that I've done, and that might come across braggy.
Never.
I'm not. It's kind of my way of being like, I am good enough because I've done this, and this. It is like such an insecurity that is, but I do worry that gets taken the wrong way sometimes. But it's just my own validation. But yeah, imposter syndrome what's a thumbs down for that one? Justice sensitivity. We'll give that a thumbs up because that is a strong emotional reaction to unfairness or inequality.
Yeah.
But are strong. So like
Yes.
everyone should react to that anyway.
Yeah.
But like is
Yes.
you know, a lot of that is presented in school. So I was quite good in school, but you know, if the teacher's shouting when they don't need to shout, or someone's been unfairly told off, I can't keep my mouth shut about that. And you know, I have to say something in the moment, and I can't let it go. And this is a really big one as well for ADHD. And it's a shame because when you have that when you're younger, it kind of can get put down to a behaviour.
Yeah.
You know, they're answering back or...
Causing trouble.
Yeah.
Stirring the pot.
And it's not, it's just that injustice.
Yeah.
So yeah. Can you say that one?
Yeah, not very well. Kinesthetic.
Kinesthetic learning.
Which is me.
It comes out different every time I try and say it.
I used to say
That's you,
kinesthetic, but it's kinesthetic, isn't it?
We were talking about that earlier, wasn't we?
Yeah, that's me.
Go on.
Well, when someone will say, like, all right, I need you to do this, 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 and this, I'll be like, because you've explained it to me, I need to do it.
Yeah.
I need to do the thing. Or you can maybe show me and demonstrate if it's that sort of thing, but once I do it, I'm like, oh, I do understand what you're saying. But because you said a load of words at me and in instructions, I'm lost.
Yeah.
But if I can actually physically do the thing, then I'm fine. Is that a good way to explain it? That's how my interpretation.
So ADHD brains, they engage better with when the body is moving. So, you know, if you're in school saying you've got a fidget, you're moving, you're doing anything, you're moving whilst you're learning, or you need to do the movement of that. You just get on with it and do it, rather than, like you just said, the instructions is...
Yeah, you've lost me.
Just get in. Yeah, so that's kinesthetic.
Yay!
Yes.
You said it right.
Ow is limiting beliefs. So like that would be another one, and that can come with the imposter syndrome and everything else. So internal narratives like I'm lazy. This is what my status was yesterday, because I'm like, why do I feel lazy when I literally...
Oh my God, when you listed all that stuff.
Slept in 100 years because I'm so busy and I'm doing everything I can, and I still feel like it's not enough, or that I'm lazy, or I can't stick to anything because you're doing this thing and you're just everywhere. But
you've achieved so much.
It's limiting because it will stop you from doing certain things, or that narrative will be what you stick with. So you're like, I won't bother. Sorry, just spat. I won't bother anymore. M is metacognition. So that's thinking about your thinking.
Oh my God.
Being aware of how your brain works.
Yeah.
Which I love anyway.
Yeah.
So that can be a strength, and really good at developing coping strategies. But again, there is like the hyper-awareness and the hyper-vigilance. Sometimes it's not always great to know every thought and feeling and why you do it, and kind of, because you're using your brain to do that, so that could be challenging. But you definitely use metacognition, don't you?
Yeah.
N is novelty seeking, which is like gravitating. I'm always like the magpie, like something shiny and new, gravitating towards something new, interesting or stimulating.
Mm-hmm.
Because then that helps with engagement, but it can make consistency harder.
Yeah, probably does resonate with me, that one.
This one, object permanence.
Mm-hmm.
So for an ADHD context, out of sight, out of mind, I'm very brutal with that. If something isn't visible, then it's not relevant. And I say brutal because that can be a person also.
Yeah.
If I haven't seen you for ages.
You're going to forget about me?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I won't forget about you. I just don't exist.
Oh my God. I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Like, my husband was saying to me the other day about I always lose my glasses. That's very ADHD. And he's like, why don't you just so I've got so many different glasses boxes. So I'm like, well, maybe if I buy like pretty ones, or maybe I won't lose like the things around your neck to keep your glasses on. And I was like, but it doesn't matter, because if I had it to the side of me and then I got up, it just wouldn't exist anymore. So I wouldn't think, I need to put it in my glasses box, because if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. So I wouldn't have that thought.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
When I lost my bag in town recently, it's because I was sat somewhere. Usually my bag would be on my back, because it wasn't. I stood up. It was at the side of me. So I just left.
You just
left
walked
town.
off?
Yeah.
Oh my
left
God.
town. Yeah, because it didn't exist anymore. So that's object permanence is a big one, in schools as well.
Yeah.
PDA, pathological demand avoidance, which is a strong.
You don't like that word, do you?
No, yeah, I know I do. No, I don't like avoidance, because I just feel like it makes it sound like a choice when you say like you're
Dodging.
actively avoiding things.
A bit like the EBSA, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Dodging.
don't like that. Yeah, it'd be like
Can't be bothered.
yeah, I don't say school avoidance. We should be school avoidance.
School
because I'm
attendance.
just like, yeah,
Non-attendance.
yeah, because I'm like, you're not. That sounds too much of a choice. So that's a strong resistance to demands, especially when they feel overwhelming or controlling. Often definitely rooted in a need for autonomy and nervous system safety. PDAs is, I have PDA, my son has PDA, and that's very limiting. That's a very strong ADHD autism thing as well, but there's no control over that whatsoever. So I bought an allotment slot, so I can get all the home ed kids there, and we can do growing things, and I'm just trying to create lots of opportunities for learning and recording learning for the home ed community.
Yeah.
So we went to visit this allotment, sign and get the keys, and I think so excited, and I've been so excited, and I am now, but at the time the lady said, we'll keep an eye on you for a few months. If we see that you're not really doing much, then we'll write you a letter. And just her saying that turned the whole thing now into a demand. And I was so upset. I was really upset. I was so angry at her, and she's the loveliest lady, but I was so angry at her because I thought, you've made something so nice feel something that I don't want to do anymore. I don't want to do it now.
Because she's put like a structure into it, and sort of
and it was like
an expectation.
Yeah, and I was not only like mad at the whole situation, it was hands on. I had to talk it through so much with my husband, and I know that can sound like really immature, like, you're having a paddy because the lady said she's gonna. It's not that. It was like turn it, like even today, me and you've had quite a few conversations where I'm like, I don't have to do it that way because then it's not a demand.
Yeah.
Like the services that I give to parents and families and stuff, and it's like people will say, you're not getting paid for that, and I'm like, no, because then it will feel like a demand. I won't want to do it. I'll struggle to do it. My brain won't connect with it, whereas now I can do it, I was going to say easily then, not easily, but freely, and I can carry on doing that because it's not a demand. It's my free will. I want to help. It's my justice sensitivity.
Yeah.
I'm going to get things done.
I understand where you're coming from. Like, I understand your reasoning. Like, it makes sense to me, and I respect that. However, I still feel like you deserve to be paid for it. So that I can only say that because that's my opinion.
But then if you've got all these things working together, the imposter syndrome, do you deserve to be paid for it though? Are you doing good enough? And then you've got the guilt cycle plays into it, and then you've got the PDA. So it's like there's so much resistance to the taking of money, and then it's like I was about to talk about something else, but we're about to get there. So rejection sensitivity, but that's at R. So the next one is Q, which is question paralysis. paralysis.
Yes.
Paralysis.
Paralysis, yes. I couldn't think what it was then.
That is like...
You just got into it.
Yeah. You had said something earlier. You was trying to think of a name of a therapy, I think.
Yeah.
And when you said it, as soon as you ask a question, I just will freeze.
Oh, is it when I was talking about FND?
Yeah.
But that's because I went upstairs, used the bathroom, came down, and it just gave me space to like...
Yeah.
I always say to people, you know, when someone's talking and then they're really trying to tell you something and they've forgotten the name of, I said, stop trying to think so hard.
You said that to me last time.
Yeah, and then it'll come to you.
Yeah.
So you think about something else or just free your mind and then it will just come in.
Because you'll freeze.
And then I'll shout it at that person. We'll be talking about something else and I'll go, blah, blah, blah. And they go, pardon? And I go, you know that thing earlier?
Yeah.
Here it is.
It wouldn't even, do you know what? It wouldn't be a thing earlier because I wouldn't be able to move on until because it's so annoying because sometimes you could say to me, what's your eldest kid's name? And I will freeze. Obviously, I know my child's name, but it just will loop. It will loop.
Just make one up. I wouldn't know.
It's left my head.
Just make one up.
And it can be something like, I know the answer to this.
Yeah.
And it's also why I can't stand, group introductions. And it'll be like, tell us a bit about yourself. And
what's
I will
your
just
name?
I just forget who I am, yeah.
Boris.
Tell me a bit about yourself. I don't know. Who am I? Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
And I would always say, can I go? I always want to go last because I want to sort of like, I'm such a social copier, so
you want to gather the information.
Yeah, what's everyone else speaking about first?
Yeah.
And then I know, because otherwise I do tend to get things wrong a lot. So you could say, tell us a bit about yourself, and I'll start saying, I don't know, might start talking about my personality, my love life, anything like that, and they'll be like, no, we meant in a work sense. That happens to me all the time. It's always, no, I meant, and I'm like, so now I'll just see, what was everyone else doing first?
Yeah.
But if they come straight to me and said, tell me about yourself now, I would just be like, just it's not there. So that's question paralysis. So when something feels too unclear and open-ended as well, that's kind of like your brain will just be like, nope, freeze.
Yeah.
So R, rejection sensitivity.
And you don't like the word disorder, so we're leaving that off.
Yeah.
RS, we're calling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm learning. I'm a good student.
Yeah,
we don't like the word disorders. Yeah, I know.
That's my avoidance. If I don't like something, I'm just like,
it doesn't exist.
Nope. Doesn't. Yeah, I'm not engaged. I'm disengaging.
Yeah.
So rejection sensitivity. I have that as well. Just have the whole alphabet. So it's perceived rejection. So it's not necessarily that it is rejection. It's just you might say something, and the tone that you say it,
Yeah.
I'll read into that too much.
Yeah.
So it could be the smallest thing, but I'll feel that deeply and I'll feel it personally. And you might not have even meant to say something a certain way, or you might have, but it didn't mean how I'm interpreted. But it is like the rejection, or you haven't replied, it would be like, oh, I've annoyed her now.
She hates me.
Yeah. That's like, she's like, I guess explaining my Facebook status yesterday where I was did have a little bit of crash out on Facebook. And then all of these played into that, because then it was like, well, why are you telling people all the things you've done? Everyone's going to think you're bragging.
No, I was pleased you put that on.
And then it was like,
that.
I think like, I didn't get a like within 0.5 seconds. Like, oh, everyone thinks I'm bragging now. Yeah. And then like the imposter syndrome of like, well, people that do this every day are probably thinking like, yeah, that's nothing. Like, why are you making a list? And it was also the like, not in that moment being able to advocate for myself and say like, I'm too busy, guys, I'm doing too much. So it was like, hopefully people read this status and then they might not ask me for help. That
you don't
really bad.
You're trying to avoid burnout. So sometimes I think for you it's really good for you to be able to verbalise that, and you're very good at writing things, aren't you? So for you to get it down, it's probably quite therapeutic for you just to get out all the things that are in your head. So the fact that you put it up, I thought it was really good that you started talking about the things that you were doing, and it's not bragging at all. Sometimes I worry about that because I'm a bit like a little I called myself a little Labrador puppy the other day. I'm very excitable, and I start wanting to communicate all the things I want to. Yeah. It's not because I'm like going, oh, look at me, I'm brilliant. I just want to go, oh my God, this is happening, and then this happened, and I did this.
Yeah,
and it was cool. It's not because I'm going, I'm amazing.
No, of course not. And and nobody takes it that way. Nobody takes it that way anyway, because why would you? You should always want to like celebrate. When someone's excited, I get excited with them.
Yeah.
You are doing amazing. Let's celebrate it together.
Yeah.
So like, I know that nobody thinks that way, you know.
Yeah.
Nobody will see somebody being excited on a post and take it any other way.
Yeah.
But that's just how I perceive it in my...
Which
in
probably
my
plays
head.
into that cognitive distortions that you asked me about.
Yeah.
We need to look at those as well, because I think that's why I do the ones with the children, because it's quite telling, and sometimes you don't really stop and think about maybe how you distort things in your head. So actually having a little card with an explanation, you're like, oh yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
And maybe I could work on that one, or maybe, okay, I'll just recognise it as a thing that I do, and it's a better way to understand myself.
Yeah.
So that, I think that plays into...
But you're really good at everything like that, because for someone like me that has these things and has like rejection sensitivity, to come and do a podcast, I cannot stand the sound of my voice. I get things wrong all the time. I'm different people, because I might either come here early, so my ADHD medication hasn't kicked in yet, or I come here when I'm on ADHD medication, but if it's when it first kicks in, I might be just over talking, don't really know what I'm saying. There's all so much to think about all the time. But yeah, you was really good at making me feel comfortable, obviously, because I'm back.
Yeah, curled up on the sofa.
And also, it is that I didn't listen to the podcast, and I would never like look at how well it's doing or anything like that. So like, you've been so encouraging, and like, look at the numbers, people are listening to it.
Yeah.
And like, because in my head I would have created a narrative where like, no one's listened to that at all. Like, why would they listen to me speaking? You know, I've got
There
this
they
whole
are.
imposter syndrome thing going on. So you'll be like, you know, people are listening.
I'm like, this is how many listeners it is. This is
Yeah.
where we are, and it's really, really good. It's encouraging. And you're all listening to each other's as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So when we meet in June, now we've got a date, it will be lovely, won't it?
Yeah, you're doing too many too fast, because I've got so many.
I know.
I listen to everything on ×2 anyway.
I do
so-
worry about that. People going, oh, I'm listening, and I'm caught up, and then it's like, oh no, there's like another 10.
No, that's good. That's really good for ADHD, but it's really like, have another one.
I love that you listen on ×2.
Yeah.
My voice is already like a baby's, so it must be like a chipmunk.
So do you know what? I listen to everything on ×2, because that's just how fast my brain is.
Yeah.
Even my uni work, and people be like, you can't hear that. That sounds like chipmunk speaking. I'm like, I can. And now when I listen to things in normal, it feels like it's in slow motion.
Yeah.
So
I always listen on just normal, and then
Yeah.
sometimes I'll go up to 1.5, just if I need to just quickly finish something off because I've got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
But I've tried to, and my brain won't. No.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
If it's too slow, it won't sink in, or I've forgotten the first part of it.
Yeah.
But if it's fast, it's all there, and then it's like,
Yeah.
when I've ended listening to it, it stayed in there.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was slow, it probably isn't, because I'm probably distracted. If something's too slow, I'm looking at something else, or it's not bringing me dopamine, is it?
No.
So, you know, I'm looking for something else. I'm not engaging. So fast for me works.
And if we do that thing where we send each other a voice note and it's like 10 minutes or 7 minutes, whatever, stopping it halfway through and then responding to that bit before you forget.
Yeah.
So then we do that, don't we? When we
Yeah.
go, I've just got to just respond to what you've just said there, because otherwise I'm going to forget. Now I'm going to listen to the rest of it.
Or,
We do
or I
that.
might say, I'll be like, right, I just have to interrupt here because, oh my gosh, you so have ADHD. Right, anyway, I'm going to carry on.
And then I just go, what the hell?
If you listen to what you've just said there, how you've just described something. Sorry, I'm a diagnoser. That should have been D. I feel like if you have so many people I know with any type of neurodivergent brain are very good at spotting it in other people. And also, but if you live that life, you know about it. You know the kind of the all-encompassing, so things that maybe people don't realise are...
Yeah. I'm probably better at picking it up in children because I'm working with children
Yeah, of
more than
course.
adults.
That's why you've got your blinkers on for everybody else, so you don't...
But I've got a lot of ADHD friends.
Yeah, well, you know, we've got together.
I've got like
Birds of a
3
feather.
of you that are really close friends, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and then like we were saying earlier, there's different types. So
Yeah.
if you know someone with ADHD and you feel like, well, I'm not like that, but because they might have combined, or they might have hyperactivity, you might have inattentive. So
I would be hyperactivity if
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Dr. Diagnosis. That is D. Okay, we digress. Carry on. Where are we? Not number, letter.
We are S.
Okay,
I
doing
put
well.
sensory overload. Do you
Yeah.
get that?
No.
Do you get that?
Yes. Yeah, to a point. Did I say to you about I've got the noise reduction things for my ears?
Oh, have you?
Because I struggle with going to the cinema. So I struggle with transition. So when we get in the car sometimes, because we've been in the house
Rolling my eyes. Go on.
sitting, and now we're driving, and I'm like, and then Lucy's talking. I'm like, just give me a second to acclimatise.
That's sensory overload.
If we go swimming, I can hear the splashing, I can hear the music, I can hear children, and I'm like, well, a minute ago I was in the changing room, but now I'm in here, so I just have to acclimatise.
Yeah.
When the wave
that's what
machine
was
comes
saying
on, I
earlier,
get
you're
out
grounded
now.
into your space.
I can't stand the wave machine.
Wow. Not saying anything.
So, yeah, cinema's bad.
Yeah.
I just put my fingers in my ears, so
That's
why I've got
overload. Like multiple inputs at once. And
yeah,
just regulating you. Because the brain's just struggling to filter what's important. Like everyone's stress of too much is going on at once, but it's like it might be things that I can hear a clock ticking, and then it might be sometimes it's like all the background noise as well that maybe other people's brains wouldn't filter that in. I
don't like people doing stuff around me when I say we're trying to watch a film or something, and I can see Megan out the corner eye like tapping or rolling around, or someone with a crisp packet or like chocolate. I'm like open the bag fully.
Yeah.
Don't be rattling next to me, or like Andy's like scrolling on his phone and watching TV at the same time. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm in the same room as you and you're doing two things at once. What are you doing?
I don't think people
If I did that, it'd be fine, but it's because
I don't think people understand. Like, you need to do that to take in the TV.
Oh.
I'd have to have my phone in my hand in order to watch this film or this program. Or I have to eat. I have to eat at the same time as watching something. You have to kind of do it at the same time. But it looks like you're not listening and you're not taking it in because you've got your phone there. But I'm definitely taking it in more, the fact that I've got my
I can't
phone.
walk into that. It's just too much for me. I'm just like, I'm like, oh, what do I look at? I can hear your phone going with your golf, and I can hear the TV. What? And I just walk out.
So I was like, I said sensory overload, do you get that? And you was like, oh, not really. And
now I've just said about 10 things.
Absolutely.
No, I do.
Of sensory overload.
Yeah. But that's quite new since maybe lockdown. So then I'm like, is it my age? Is it lockdown? What kind? Or, like you do have to look at.
Don't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to attribute it to something, but maybe it's just a combination of different things.
It's just who you are. You do like so much brain work, and they say so you're introspective. You're knowing, learning lots of things about yourself, especially because you are so dedicated to everybody else, and you are more. You're doing this, which should be for you, but this has ended up for everyone else because it has been the most like healing journey for people, or it's a confidence journey, or there's so much learning, but it's interesting learning. It's not like I've got to learn stuff. It's like, wow, that person knows all about that, and they're like,
I'm quite attuned to what's going on, and I'm quite bad at the moment anxiety wise with driving.
Oh yeah.
So you drive subconscious. We do 90% of what we do is subconscious, isn't it? But if I click back into conscious, I'm like, oh my god, I'm driving the car, and I just feel nervous. Like, I'm used to be a nervous driver. I got over that, and I put like a few drops, if I remember, of Back's Rescue Remedy on my tongue.
Yeah.
But if I haven't done it, what I've started doing is touching my tongue.
Yeah.
To tell my brain, and prefrontal cortex, I touch my brain, I tap my tongue, and then I'm fine again driving. So it's just trying to engage.
I was speaking to Jenny, I'll just say Jenny, the other day about literally the same thing, anxiety with driving, rescue remedy.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation quite a few. I'm actually not a driver. I can drive, as in, like, I've done all the lessons and I've done amazing. It gets to the point where it's like, I'm like, no, I'm not, I'm done now.
You don't want to take your test?
No, I'm too, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's safe for me to drive.
Carice, who was on the podcast recently, she's done a post on this recently. I should send it to you. From Inclusion Support Hub. Yeah. So she's in Devizes, so we did that one remotely, but she was talking about asking people that were neurodivergent, are you drivers? How do you find that? When you're maybe dysregulated, what kind of things pop up for you? So there's a piece on that. I'll send that to you.
I got dumped by my driving instructor.
Did you?
My husband always finds this funny. Yeah, because so at one point we'd gone over to Coatwater Roundabout. We're wrapping up.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready for roundabouts at that point. Did it, but it was just really scary. So when I got home, I just obsessively watched so many videos about roundabouts and watching people drive through roundabouts. Just was trying to get all the control back ready for when we got in.
Don't
the car
drive through a roundabout. Drive round.
No, yeah. See,
don't
this
drive
is why I needed these videos.
You're gonna end up on the grass in the trees, and all the foxes will be in there looking at you.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing?
And
drive around. That was maybe your mistake.
Yeah,
that's why he's dumped you, because she went.
Oh no, it was a she. And when I told her that I had done it, she just got really mad at me because she had a little booklet thing. She said, "We are here and you are jumping ahead to here." And I said,
Wow.
"I just wanted to be prepared because it was really scary or whatever." And I said, and I told my friends that I had a negative experience, and they was laughing because I'm usually quite positive. And she was like, "So you've been slagging me off to your friends?" I run a business. And listen, she was shouting at me in the car, and I was just like, left the money and like left the car because I couldn't understand what was going on. You know, you're just reaffirming all this like rejection sensitivity.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
And then she'd rang me late that night and said like she doesn't want to carry on with me. Yeah.
Wow, that's harsh.
Yeah, and I don't know if there was like that was her reason. Like surely that can't be the reason. I might have annoyed her some other way. I don't know.
I had a really horrible female driving instructor. I changed. I wonder if it was the same one. We'll talk about that after.
Oh yeah. Right. So that was. We're on time blindness now. Time blindness.
Yeah, that's right. Because just an S. Yeah.
Time blindness.
Mm.
So when my boys were at school, the youngest, I used to have to set an alarm to pick him up, which sounds silly, but it's because if I think, right, he finishes at 3:20, it's 10 past, right, I've got 10 minutes. No, say it's 3:00. I've got 10 minutes before I have to leave. I don't know what 10 minutes looks like.
Okay.
So I could sit there and it's, 10 minutes, I better go now. But then my phone's ringing. Why? He's been here for 20 minutes. Where are you? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it was, I do not, time will go, when they say time flies when you're enjoying yourself kind of thing. Because I guess you're not paying attention to the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the difficulty sensing the passage of time. So things can feel like now or not now, which affects planning and deadlines. Which, yeah, you might think, I've got ages to finish this uni assignment because time blindness is horrible because it can make you late. I think this is probably why I'm quite rigid with time, as I was explaining earlier, because I don't have that strong of a concept of time. Time's a social concept anyway.
That's what you said to me. What time are you throwing me out of your house? You said, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're like, what time do you need me to get out?
Because I will overstay my welcome. Because if I think I've been here a little bit, I've probably been here for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I just haven't grasped
the fact that you were here last time. 4 hours. But I enjoyed that. So
now I will be quite hyper-vigilant of the time. Like, right, I've been here for this long. And I'll keep saying, just let me know when you want me to go. And I've probably only been here 10 minutes, but it might be the other way. I feel like I've been here for hours.
Yeah.
And I've only just got here. So yeah, time blindness. You is, I'm going to change that. Unmasking.
Mm-hmm. So
it was urgency-based motivation, but we kind of talked about that. Unmasking, I keep speaking to people about because I think it's so powerful. A lot of people are getting diagnosis late in life. And then you kind of realise, these things that I've been doing are attributed to being autistic or attributed to ADHD. And then you kind of give yourself some grace. So you're not as hard on yourself for things that you probably didn't have that much control over.
Yeah.
So you allow yourself to be. So, I allow myself to be ADHD. And I keep seeing online people say, either they're not being believed about their diagnosis or all of us, you're doing this all of a sudden, now you've been diagnosed with ADHD. And it's so invalidating. But it is that process of unmasking, and you kind of now you might be around different friendship groups where now you're all neurodivergent, so you feel safe to not be somebody else or do certain things fit in.
You're going to lean into it more than lean away.
Yeah, unmasking I think is powerful. But I was speaking to a friend the other day, and they was like, I don't know why, but I just feel so ADHD in a minute, and it's obviously fake because it's because I've got a diagnosis. But and I said no, it's your unmasking. You're allowing yourself to be who you naturally would be and how you would naturally process things, and not trying to fit yourself in a box. So it's a powerful process.
You're giving yourself permission, finally.
Absolutely, yeah. V is validation seeking.
Mm-hmm.
So looking for reassurance or external confirmation, which I guess plays into everything else as well. But it's like it comes from inconsistent feedback and criticism. I'm quite a question person anyway, so I'll ask, is that right? Was at the end of this, I'll say, was that right? I need you to tell me that was okay. I wouldn't be able to necessarily always process that myself, so I'll kind of say, did I do okay? Did I overtalk? Did I? Because it's like validation. And, I said I had a bit of I was dysregulated because of things going wrong this morning, and I was just straight onto my voice notes, and it was like, I know my amazing friends are going to say, oh no, that's okay, it was only because, it's like, I need,
you just need
that validation. So that's validation seeking. W is working memory issues. I guess that's like the forgetfulness and forgetting what you was about to say. So in the middle of a sentence, I'm speaking a sentence and then I'll just forget.
Yeah.
Like I'll say now, just like, oh, it's gone now. And it's so annoying because people will say, if you can't remember something, oh, it couldn't have been important. No, trust me, it can be important.
Yeah.
But it's just gone now. But it is that working memory.
Yeah.
X, executive dysfunction. Little wee big X.
Little cheater. Yeah.
Which is difficulty starting tasks, organising tasks, completing tasks. I have that. That's like just to initiate the actual task, because your brain knows nothing's coming from this. Like, in order for me to be at my most powerful, I need the dopamine in there, and you're about to do this washing up. So I'm going to now use my cognitive load to wash up. It's not bringing me anything in return, but I'm using it. So it's like you're kind of like paralysed to start this. You need to do it. And it can also be on, if you've got a to-do list and there's something on there as simple as like, send this text to the school. And when you send this text to the school, it's going to make this thing better. So you need to do it. And it will take you 2 seconds, but you just cannot do that thing. And like you can work like PDA into that as well, or demand avoidance. But yeah, it's such a difficulty because sorry, my phone was ringing.
It's all right.
It's such a difficulty because it's like, do the task, and then you're in that guilt cycle now of like, now you might have you haven't sent off something, so you're being penalised for it, and you will have that guilt cycle of like, well, I could have just done that, it would have took me 2 seconds, like, but I just couldn't do it. So you feel guilty and like, well, why didn't I just do the thing? And so yeah, executive. I made a lot of resources that came in quite handy for children, for getting ready in the morning for school.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a list, and it might be in order. Or we've got one in our bathroom, and I printed loads of those out for people as well. Obviously laminated. What will just say, sometimes if you have executive dysfunction, you can go into, a young person or an adult can go into the bathroom. They're not necessarily going to fulfill all the tasks that they need to do in there. They might go and have a bath, get out, and that's it. There won't even be any washing involved. You might not brush your teeth, might not brush your hair. It is kind of that. So if you've got this sheet in front of you, few visuals, everyone loves a visual,
What do you use to create these sort of things? Do you just do it on Word, or do you do
Canva?
You got Canva, yeah. I've just got Canva now
I love Canva.
Yeah, I'm just getting my head around Canva, which I'll show you after.
Yeah. Oh, I've got so many different resources, and it's quite good because either myself or my children or both will struggle with these things. So it's kind of, I don't know how to implement, because I think, well, what do I need, or what helps them, kind of thing. And then usually I'll speak to the parents and they'll say, can you put my child's name on it? This is their school time. And, it would just be loads of things like that. And it seems like such a simple kind of printout, but it's so helpful.
Yeah, it's a guide.
And that is because of executive dysfunction. That does not start with an X. Y, that was hard to find a Y. Yo-yo productivity, which is, cycles of being really, really productive, followed by periods of burnout or low output. So it's like consistency is challenging there. So you might think, 1 week you're just doing everything and it's so productive and everything's getting done, and then the next week you're kind of not doing anything, and that's just because you've burnt yourself out. You've overdid it, but it is like that back and forth inconsistency. I'm like that with my Little Loves Facebook page. I will flood posts on there and I enjoy it and I'm writing, and then there's so much interactions in the post and engagement that it's like, I'm burnt out now. And then it's like, well, you've put all these posts out, you need to reply to the people, and then it's like, now it's a demand. So now the PDA is like, nope, absolutely, I wouldn't even open the page for like a few weeks, because now it's said zoning out. Do you ever do that?
No. Partner does though.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then that's kind of the inattentive side of ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah, mentally checking out or losing focus, which is sometimes a response to overwhelm. And that can look like daydreaming, probably a lot in school. It probably looks like, you know, you get that in reports sometimes, they're staring out the window a lot or whatever, but
they're a daydreamer.
Zoning out, dissociation is like, you know, just...
No eye contact.
Yeah. And that is the A to Z, and we've gone over time.
It's fine.
And I feel like that was so chaotic and all over the place.
No, it was like it wasn't because we talked into it.
Validation seeking here.
We're going to do.
Tell me it was good.
Yeah, it was good. And we're going to do a series. So you're going to come back on and you're going to do the next thing. So I want you to think about what you want to do next, and we're going to do a whole series on you. So this is just a section, guys, and Danielle's coming back on.
It's going to help me with my speaking confidence because I don't have speaking confidence. So this is therapy from you.
Yeah. Free.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you.